Do you hear the church bells ringing? It's peak wedding season, and planning your big day should not mean breaking the bank. So joining us today, we have Jessica Bishop. She's the founder of the Budget Savvy Bride, and she's here to share some top tips on how couples can plan a stunning wedding without going overboard on cost. Because, Jessica, let's face it, that's the last way you want to begin your union together, right? Is in debt.
Absolutely. That's one of my biggest soapboxes, I would say, in the work that I do, is that I want to see all couples plan a wedding that is within their financial means, that they still feel completely happy and satisfied with.
Yes, I love this. Okay, so let's begin by giving some advice on where couples should begin when it comes to planning on a budget, right? Because budget, I think, is the key here.
Absolutely. So my advice to couples from the very beginning is to start by getting really clear on what matters most to both you and your partner. And a great way to do that, as shameless plug, is to pick up a copy of my book, The Budget Savvy Wedding Planner and Organizer, which I can see you have a copy of there in studio.
Sure
I have
do.
one here as well. The introductory chapter really walks couples through the process of defining what those values and priorities are for their big day, so that you can move forward with confidence and clarity and allocate your budget accordingly to what matters most to you.
That's great. Okay, and then also too, there are some parts of the wedding, if you will, like venue, flowers, decorations, that you might be able to do a little DIY on. So let's talk about some of those low-cost decoration ideas that can still be personalized and will look just as beautiful as if you were to pay somebody for them.
Yeah, absolutely. DIY can be a great way to save money, but also to personalize your day with all of those special details. Some really great low-cost options are things like any paper goods. Those things are so simple to DIY. There's tons of templates available online. You can utilize free online design tools like Canva to create something beautiful that you can either print yourself at home or send to, a printer to be professionally printed, depending on how much DIY you actually want to take on. So that's kind of like a good DIY option, but you can craft things yourself, whether you want to, source, thrifted vases from your favorite charity shops around town, or, get your own flowers from the supermarket and arrange them into centerpieces. You can create your own gifts for your bridal party. There's a lot of things you can do to save money and add that personal touch. But my biggest tip is always to just be really honest with yourself about your resources, right? Like not just your money, but also your time and your capacity, because there's a lot of things going on during the wedding planning process and also in life. So you got to allocate your time really wisely too.
That is such great advice. I did a ton of DIY decades ago on my wedding. And that was one thing, though, that I think is just as valuable as paying somebody, is being aware of your capacity and bandwidth, right? We only have about maybe a minute left. I do need to hit on the biggest expense, venues. Help us navigate that.
Yeah, so one thing I really recommend is asking, if you have a dream venue in mind, if they have certain times of the year where their costs might be a little less. During those off-peak seasons, there are significant savings to be found. So that's really the best tip, is look for those off-peak shoulder seasons, or even consider a midweek wedding, or a Sunday brunch wedding can also give you some savings there.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe be a little creative too. Someone's backyard sometimes, depending on the time of year, can be just as stunning as a winery.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so Jessica, where can we go for more tips, resources to make sure that we're keeping budgets in mind when we're planning our real big day?
Absolutely. Visit thebudgetsavvybride.com and be sure to visit thebudgetsavvybride.com/summit, because we're hosting an online summit for engaged couples this June to really help you hone in on the big picture values, vision, and set that budget that's realistic for you. And we're also going to be giving away a free honeymoon to Margaritaville Island Reserve in Riviera Maya, Mexico. So if that's not reason enough to sign up to attend this incredible free event, I don't know what is.
I'm going to renew my vows just so I can win that vacation, Jessica.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate you joining us all the way from Nashville, Tennessee today. Take care, Jess.
Thanks.
All right, more to come here on idaho-today right after the break. Everybody stick around.